Hey, what's up, guys? You're watching DIY Dozier. If you're new to the channel, be sure to click that like button and follow along. Subscribe if this video helps you out in any way, shape, or form. And this is going to be episode 4 on the Mustang restoration project. Stick around, see what we can get into. Here we are, back in the garage. I still have my mess on the ground. I'm about to clean all that up right now. Move that little sway bar and the steering linkage piece. We're going to go ahead and snatch this motor mount off there. We're going to snatch that motor mount off there. And I'm going to do a final cleaning. I might not even clean it. I'm just going to go ahead and start sanding it. Let's get right into it. So I bought this angle die grinder at Northern Tool. I bought a whole bunch of stuff down there. It's pretty good. Ingersoll Rand brand. I like Ingersoll Rand stuff. I got some of these sanding discs here that I got from Eastwood, and unfortunately there is not an attachment for that threaded portion of that disc to seat inside that angle grinder. I'm gonna have to go buy an adapter or an adapter to fit inside that 1/4-inch collet there. That way I can use that sander. I got my air line out here and I got all set up and ready to go so I can start sanding the engine bay. Unfortunately, this is going to put a hindrance on my sanding today. But since I'm here and I'm already working, I'm going to go ahead and tackle something else here. As I mentioned in earlier videos, this core support here is in pretty rough shape. I'm going to go ahead and try to smooth out some of these dents best I can. I'm going to grab this 2x4 here and try to fit it inside that crack there and tap on it with a hammer and kind of massage the top of the metal here until I get it to where it's, you know, a lot flatter than it is. It's pretty ripply. You can see all those high spots and low spots there. So I'm going to work on that a little bit and get it best I can, and anything that's not perfect I'll just use you know, I really hope I don't have to, but I'm going to try to stray away from any body filler at all in the core support. There's no reason to have to use that. Hopefully I can get it pretty straight. We'll see. So after a little bit of massage work on the metal on this core support, I kind of got a relatively contoured leading edge into the engine bay. Before it was pretty ripply. I'm talking about this edge right here. I'm not talking about the top of it, I'm talking about the edge. It had a lot of ups and downs all the way across there. And now it's relatively the same rolling contour now. So I was tapping all across here to make sure it leveled out. Like I said, this flat surface here is still a little bit lumpy. There is no way I can get in there to straighten that up. I mean, realistically, if you're going to do that, you might as well go ahead and buy core support and just weld on a new core support. But it's not really going to be visible. I just wanted the leading edge to be the same contour. It was bothering me. It was too ripply. Anyway, so after a lot of prep work, we'll say massaging the core support, trying to get everything pretty much squared away, ready to go, cleaned, prepped so we could sand for paint, I am finally here. That said, I'm going to jump right into it. So as you all know, whenever you're doing a project or any kind of restoration, running into hiccups along the way is just part of it. And part of it is, in this video series, is to not only document it, show progress, but show the kind of things that you run into. So check out this transmission tunnel in the engine bay. I'm not sure what's going on, why there's so much body filler on it, unless somebody just really messed up the firewall. But anyway, check this out. So I'm sanding the engine bay, as you all know, prepping it for paint, and I start coming across pink. I start finding pink about, well, there's pink up here too, but not so much. I start finding a lot of pink about here down. Almost like, well, the pink is the skim coat. Now below the pink is the off-white, or lighter colored body filler, which is that in itself, body filler. So I found several gouges that were, right here. There was one big one that was right here, and there was another big one that was right here. I can still feel a chunk of it there. If you see, there's a big hole there. There's a lot of body filler on this firewall. But here's what got me. Once I got to sanding and sanded off the paint and got to where I could no longer, underneath this edge where you can't see, I mean, they just slapped it on there. Look at that ridge line there. I've already sanded down a good bit. That is, I don't know, that's probably a 1/18 of an inch there depth. They just like took the body filler and slapped it on right here and just wiped it and let it dry. And there was this huge ridge. I've already sanded it down, like, for the most part, but I'm kind of worried because I want to smooth it out. My OCD says to smooth this out, but as I start smoothing it out, I'm afraid I'm going to get into a hole or something that they're trying to hide. There is no telling, what that is or what's under there. I might just go ahead and start sanding and see what we get. Just sand it as far down as I can, and if we run into a hole or something, I guess it's going to need to be addressed. I'll patch it up with the welder, and I'm going to have to break the welder out for this anyway. So, yeah, so I guess we'll just keep going and see what happens. Alright guys, we are finally completely sanded inside the engine bay. There is a little bit of body work that I have to do, so let's take a look at what we got to do. Alright, so we have that little bit right there. There's a little hole in there. Right there in the middle of the screen. I had to come in there and add a little bit of body filler to that to smooth it out. This is the battery tray that somebody had riveted a sheet of aluminum into instead of welding a steel plate back in here. I'm not positive. Somebody's already got some glazing on here. I sanded down to it. There's glazing all the way down to here, and it looks like we have some pitting that they filled with glaze. So I will tap that back down. That's on the front of the core support. It's bent up. Looks like somebody missed a put a floor jack on there or something from underneath the body. Same thing on this other side here. Again, looks like somebody just messed with a floor jack or came off the suspension. I don't know. This is raised up quite a bit. I got my fingers under there. Let's get down here. There you go. So it looks like maybe the car slipped off the jack from right here or something. Maybe somebody jacked right here and then it hit there and bent it up. I don't know. But I got to hammer that out. So a little bit of body work. Not a whole lot. We'll go ahead and get it primered and then we'll get it painted. So this has been kind of a tedious process. I've got on this, a couple hours here and there. I'm at about 2 weeks now on this bay. Definitely not a one-day job. I got some body filler applied. It is currently drying. We're going to try to smooth out some of that mess there in that battery tray area. And there's some little rust pits and stuff right there that I went ahead and filled, or evidence of previous rust. Alright, got the firewall kind of doctored up there, and I found a couple little pitted areas over there that I went ahead and just filled. Sand all that smooth here just a little bit. And here we are with our final sanding. It looks rough, but that's because the metal work was actually pretty rough. So to try to level that out, we got a lot of different colors there. There's really, that is not a hard edge. Like you can't feel it. There's the metal goes down. Anyway, whatever. It's not a show car, but it is pretty good. And once I hit it with the primer filler, you won't even know this is there. So there's that. I got the transmission tunnel done. Everything is sanded, ready to go. I just hit the car with a water hose to get all the dust off of it. You can see my floor's still wet. I'm going to dry it off real quick with a towel, and I'm going to let it sit. I'll come back to it another day, make sure it's completely dry, and I will wipe it down and we'll get ready to prime it. Our hole for our grommet and the firewall has been sanded. It's good to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and give this a quick wipe down with some TCI products, wax and grease remover. Wipe all this area down, give it a good wipe down. After that, I'm going to go ahead and tape the car up. And after I have the car taped up, I'm going to wipe it down again right before we start spraying primer. We are all masked up as good as we want to be. Whole car is covered up in plastic. I'm going to come in here and wrap some tape on some of these little pieces in here. These hoses right here that I think it's an AC fan blower, and these couple plugs. Put some tape on those. Come back, give it a final wipe down, and we're going to spray some primer. Alright, I got the hose stretched out here. I hadn't kicked on the compressor yet over there in the corner because I'm afraid that it's going to be so loud that I won't be able to narrate my video. So I'm going to be brief about this. Here we are, taped up on everything. Got my plugs taped up. Got everything that I don't want paint on taped up. We're masked. I'm going to go ahead and hit it again with some more wax and degreaser. One more wipe down here. And then I'm going to slide over here. And I'm going to mix a, it's going to be a 4 to 1 ratio, mix ratio. What I'm going to do is my primer surfacer filler here, which is Eastwood brand. I like this stuff. It's 2K. It works great. It levels good. I'm going to reduce it a touch and spray it with my spray it with the intention of not having to sand it. Usually I feel a lot of imperfections with it, and then I come back and I sand. But this time I'm going to reduce it, 10% reduced. I'm going to add my 25% activator, because it's 4-to-1 mix ratio. And then pour it in here, strain it, and we're going to put down some primer. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and turn off this. I'm going to be done narrating until I'm done painting. It's going to be too loud in here with the compressor kicked on, so it's going to be noisy. I'll just show the process. Enjoy. Alright guys, this is going to wrap up our 4th episode on the Mustang restoration video. If the video helped you out or you liked it, be sure to click that like button and subscribe, and you can be notified of future content being released. If you have a question or a comment, be sure to drop it down below. I thank you very much for following along. As always, share the knowledge, share the passion, share the skill, do it yourself.